there was a long time where he was among like the top 2 or 3 outfielders.
Well, and I think what's funny is I know there's a campaign to vote him in, which I think I'm all for, because if anything else, it points out the ridiculous, power of the fans in situations like this.
Well, yeah, and if you go to any major league teams' websites, or at least the 2 that I follow, there's big ads at the top that say vote the Indians in.
Vote our players, yeah, and it makes it more of a mockery. And it should mean something to be considered an all-star in any sport, or like in basketball, football, baseball, anything, and even football. Like, they play their game after the season. The teams are announced in mid-December. They announced Brett Favre as a Pro Bowl to the Pro Bowl last year. Right as he was tanking, it was like, really, everybody went, "Oh my God, I can't believe Brett Favre made the Pro Bowl." And I don't think every sport seems to do it. That's the real shame of it. But,
yeah.
Hey,
well,
and what are you gonna do?
Yeah, like for me, like the way I voted, because I did vote. Oh, and you can vote. By the way, you can vote up to 25 times. The way I voted.
Is voting still open?
Yes, it is.
Maybe I'll vote.
Zach Greinke.
Can I vote Sammy Sosa in?
You can write in, yeah.
Yes.
You can write in.
I'm starting a campaign right now. Vote Sammy Sosa into the All-Star game.
But what's interesting is, like, for me, what I did was I voted for the Indians and the Cubs players that I felt legitimately deserved it, and then I voted for the other positions where I felt like that particular player at that position earned it. But I guarantee you, most fans didn't do that. Most fans just clicked. Let's say you're an Orioles fan. Most fans, I guarantee you, just clicked Orioles all the way down.
I would just look at the list and see, like, oh, well, that makes sense. I'll pick that guy. Or even more, like, when I used to, like, I would like make like a Pro Bowl ballot, just for example, because I don't really vote. I haven't really voted for the All-Star game, but I voted for like the Pro Bowl. And I'll make a ballot, and I'll like, okay, I want home run, or for football, I'd be like quarterback. Okay, who's thrown the most touchdowns? Who's got the highest rating? Who's thrown the most yards? Those are the 3 quarterbacks I'd vote for. Things like that. I'd probably do the same thing if I could do that in baseball. I'd probably be like, okay,
home runs, RBIs, average.
I might look at defense even if I couldn't. If there's some sort of statistics I can look at.
Oh yeah, there definitely is.
Because I think defense is underrated.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was an interesting point to bring up. So,
yeah. Did you want to mention Halladay real quick too?
Oh yeah, Halladay got his 10th win last night. He's 10-1. Now
he
there's
rocked the Royals. What's up with that?
Yeah,
man?
he's unbelievable. If he continues at this rate, he can win 30. They say he could win 30. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, he's not going to win 30.
He could probably do what Cliff Lee did last year for the Indians. He could probably win 24, 25.
Oh yeah.
So I just think that was very interesting. His ERA is so low. He's just phenomenal. He is the epitome of consistency. He is consistently among the top 3 pitchers in the American League. I'm surprised he still plays for the Blue Jays.
Well, once in a while they find a nut. Every squirrel finds a nut, so to speak. I don't know. I think it's a shame.
Sorry, I need some water. Continue.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really distracted because I'm looking at my baseball fantasy team that is getting killed because I don't ever look at it.
So, well, one thing I wanted to mention before we go on to our top 5, we had Game 2 of the NBA Finals last night, and the first one, if you remember, was a rather blowout.
It was a blowout
game. Last night, overtime.
Last night they choked. By they, I mean the Magic.
Yeah, they called up a good play at the end of regulation, and it just didn't go. It's just sports, just basketball. It didn't fall. But the Lakers ended up winning 101-96 in overtime. Very, very low scoring game. It was 15-15 after the first quarter.
Yeah.
Very, very low scoring game. But the Lakers outwilled them, whatever you want to say, and Kobe Bryant. I did want to tell you this. I don't know if you saw this. Kobe Bryant did exactly what you said yesterday. Again, somebody asked him, "How do you feel?" And he was like, "Pretty good." And they were like, "That's it." And he was like, "Well, we haven't done anything."
Yeah.
He was like, "It's been 2 games. We haven't won anything yet."
Yeah. So I was saying yesterday, what I was saying yesterday, and we were having a long argument that we don't have time
to say for another day.
But basically, what it came down to, I mentioned, the excitement over Game 1 or Game 2 now, even of the finals, doesn't matter because even the people that win are like, "Yeah, we won." They're like, "Yeah, it's just 1 game," And apparently he did it again. Obviously that is the sports cliche. This is what I have to say right now. If I said anything else, y'all would roast me, kind of thing. But still, my main point was that it was like, we're not excited that we won. We just won. But anyway,
no, it was it. But now they've got. I heard an interesting stat. Now they've got the 2-3-2 that we talked about, and they're going for 3. Now they're off for 3 in Orlando. And interestingly enough, I guess in the last 10 years or something, only one team in the finals has won all three of those 3 at home.
Yeah, well, the assumption is being that you should win the games at home, but nobody ever wins all the games at home.
Well,
here's what I think. I think Orlando wins next game, and I think
LA gets at least 1.
No, I think LA wins the next 2 and wins it in Orlando.
Yeah, what I was going to say was I
predicted in 5, so I'm going to continue predicting.
What I was going to say was I think I will be very surprised if Orlando wins all 3. I think that this 2-3-2 really favors the Lakers because the Lakers will probably get at least 1 in Orlando, which means they'd have to win just 1 of their last 2 at home.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think Orlando wins 2. I think they only win 1, and they lose the series in 5. They don't have it for the Lakers. They had it against the Cavs. They matched up well. They don't match up well with the Lakers. That was their only strength, was that they as a team against the Cavs team, was advantage Orlando.
Yeah.
This is advantage LA all the way.
Yep.
Your turn to lead the top 5.
Okay, so we're going to go, since it's actually been a little bit since we've done an all NASCAR.
Yeah.
So we're going to go with NASCAR this week for our top 5. And because of the state of the sport kind of address that they had a few weeks ago, and with
it was like 2 weeks ago, I think, Tuesday.
And with the, quote, big change of the double file shootout
you're throwing quotes
style.
You're throwing quotes in there because I don't agree that's a huge change.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a change. It's not as big as maybe I even thought it originally was. But because of that, I thought we would do our top 5 issues in the sport of NASCAR and how you would change them.
Yes.
So, Doug, with that being said, you're number 5.
My number 5. One of the biggest problems right now in NASCAR is that the big stars, the big names, aren't having success. And my solution is to let them cheat. NASCAR needs to assist Dale Earnhardt Jr., give him like a huge engine. Like, Carl Long's engine was like .17. Like, make Jr.'s like 3 inches too big, Like, I want to see it sticking up through the hood and everything, and I want to be able to smell the nitrous oxide, and I want to know that he's driving like a 30-gallon fuel tank, Let's make it just, and that way, once he starts like dominating and winning races, the fans will come back.
My number
5, sir.
My number 5 is the pit road violation penalties. What I would really, really like to see is I would really, really like them to go to a system similar to what they do in the pit road competition and in all-star qualifying.
Where you add seconds onto it?
Yes. And this is just really, really kind of abstract. But what I'm thinking is, I just think that I would like, just for me, just strictly me. I don't even really care or know what everybody else thinks. But I would like to see, okay, you left the lug nut off. Okay, you don't have to come back in under green and go laps down. Your next pit stop, we're tacking on like they used to do. Sometimes they still hold you, but they'll hold you for 10, 15 seconds because that's going to cost you. Well, 15 seconds would cost you a lot, but 10 seconds, for example, would cost you 8, 9 spots instead of a lap. And I would just like to see that. It'd be something I'd like to see.
The only thing I want to say about that is if a team misses a lug nut, they better get back down pit road because you can't drive with only 4 lug nuts on a tire.
Well, that was just the example I came up with, but like across the line.
Yeah.
Or something like
I
that.
I guess I can see that. The only thing about it is like,
I mean, they do it they do it in those situations, and I just think it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, maybe. It's abstract. I'm not sure that would work, but
that's why it's my number 5.
I could see how it would. Okay, number 4 is obviously. I'm sure you're gonna have this one too. It relates to the Busch Series and the fact that obviously right now there are like 3 Cup drivers that are racing full time, trying to win the Busch Series championship and all that. And we've both spoken on this show about how we miss the old Busch Series where, it was either the veterans who were there forever or the really young guys coming up racing for the championship. And, yeah, the Cup guys were racing it too, but they weren't dominating all that. And I think that's a major problem for the Busch Series, and I think that's why the Busch Series seems to be slowly dying, And my fix is very simple, is that you put a cap on the number of Cup drivers per race and the number of races a Cup driver can race in the Busch Series per year. It's like, okay, you can only run 8 races. We can only have 5 Cup guys in this race, If 10 of them want to run, that's fine, but understand that only 8 of them are going to make the show. And you made D and Q simply because you are a Cup guy. And say what you want, but hey, whatever.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot.
Me too.
My number 4 is